editor of BrexitCentral, Jonathan Isaby, and from Westminster is the journalist and author, Yasmin Alibhai-Borown. And a very good evening to both of you. Thanks for joining me. Yasmin, if I could start with you then. The Prime Minister sending this letter that he promised that he never would. A bit of a victory for the Remainers?
I don't think we're at such a bad point at the moment. I think we should not be talking about winners and losers. We should be talking about what kind of a Prime Minister we have, who is sending, somebody said more than 2, maybe 3, maybe 7 letters contradicting one another. That seems to me quite mad, really. The vote in Parliament was passed. He's obliged to send the letter. So like a child, he's sending another letter. He doesn't sign the official letter, which is, something he has to do by law. Instead, he sends another letter kind of, undermining that first letter. There's something quite wrong with the psychology of our Prime Minister. That worries me hugely. And we are in a I've given up as a Remainer. This thing is going to happen. But it needs to happen in a way that makes sense, that's not going to leave us in a worse state than we've ever been in the history of modern Britain.
Jonathan Isaby,
Boris is just intent on winning, that's all.
Well, can I bring Jonathan Isaby in at this point? Do you agree then that there's something wrong with the Prime Minister that is quite mad, and that, as some people have argued, that he's actually in contempt either of Parliament or of the courts? And Scottish courts are going to be examining this tomorrow, the question of the 2 letters.
I'll tell you what's quite mad. It's having the first Saturday sitting of the House of Commons in 37 years in order to decide whether or not MPs back the deal that Boris Johnson agreed, for that same Parliament to then have a vote to not have a vote on the deal. The members of Parliament who voted for the Letwin Amendment yesterday have made the House of Commons look absolutely preposterous.
Have they, or were they just safeguarding the country from a no-deal scenario?
I think the motives of most of the people who voted for that Letwin Amendment were not especially honourable. Most of the people you saw, when Oliver Letwin came out of the House of Commons last night, he was cheered by all the people in Parliament Square campaigning for a second referendum, the people who want to stop Brexit. That is what lays behind most of the people who voted for that.
Oliver Letwin has said today, hasn't he, that he would actually vote for Boris Johnson's deal. What can we predict is going to happen this week, Yasmin? Do you think that tomorrow Parliament might get an opportunity to vote on this deal that was brought back from Brussels?
I'm not sure they can. I mean, this is what Rees-Mogg has said. And I think it's But and it depends on the speaker, doesn't it? But I think, again, this should stop, this maligning of groups of people who don't agree with Brexit. If they were demonstrating, they're not national enemies. One has to ask questions about the Prime Minister's intentions. And John Barron let it be known, unintentionally, I think, that the whole plot is really to, in the end, get a no-deal exit, so that the moneymakers can have their day. Now, look, he didn't say that, I'm saying that, the second bit. If that is the case, we absolutely, the parliamentarians, have a duty to examine what exactly is going to happen. And it isn't a trapdoor, as Keir Starmer said.
Do you think that there is a chance then that what will actually happen is we'll see the withdrawal agreement passing through as a piece of legislation, and there could be a number of amendments put in that would make it look unrecognisable to the withdrawal agreement that the government is hoping to pass through Parliament?
Well, the problem about amending the withdrawal agreement bill, is that it is effectively a treaty that's agreed between the EU and the UK. And you can't start amending a treaty effectively after it's been signed. We look at how the Maastricht Treaty, the Lisbon Treaty, all kinds of European treaties have gone through the House of Commons over the years. The House of Commons can't start changing the treaty that's been agreed, because you take it or leave it as one piece of legislation, as a document. And the Prime Minister's position is quite clear, and it hasn't changed. He wants to deliver Brexit by the end of this month. It's been 3.5 years since the referendum. I think most of your viewers are absolutely flabbergasted that the House of Commons has managed to get us to a position where we still haven't delivered on that historic result, where, lest we forget, more people voted for Brexit than ever voted for anyone or anything in British electoral history.
Yasmin Alibhai-Borown, do you think one of the amendments that we might see could be this chance for a confirmatory referendum, that this could be put back to the people? As you say, this was voted for not knowing the circumstances of that deal. Now we could put the deal before them.
Yes, and we are a country of more than 17.2 million people, and many people have great reservations, and I'm one of them. And actually, we need to do that. Whatever's going to happen, people have to trust it. And we need to know, Boris Johnson is not even he's not loyal to his women, he's not loyal to his own words. He said himself he would never accept the Irish Sea border. He's now selling it to us like it's a new vacuum cleaner. He said so many things he turns his back on. How do you trust somebody who plays with the emotions of the people of this country and seems to think, like Julius Caesar, he is the state? Parliamentarians, I hope, will do the right thing. A second referendum, I'm worried about a second referendum. I don't know which way it'll go, and why should people who lose accept it? It's not an easy solution, but maybe it's inevitable.
Okay, Yasmin, Alibhai-Borown and Jonathan Isaby, we have to leave it there, but thank you both very much indeed for your time this evening.